What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing today? So I know the background looks familiar, but we're doing something new. So it's your boy Hard Conversation. It's my boy I.K.H.C, better known as D and Rod. So we bringing you guys NBA talk, hard talk. You know, like undisputed, like first take, but better.
Less
BS.
homer.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no homers here.
Yeah, no homerism, clear cut, dry NBA talk. So that's what this channel is going to be about. We'll be doing this periodically. I don't know how often, but as often as we possibly can until we get a schedule. So, welcome to the channel. Let's get right into it. So we're going to be doing some NBA topics right now. So as you guys know, it's late in the NBA season. The playoffs are beginning, so we're just going to dive right into it. First of all, subscribe to the channel. Like the video, share it with your friends, share it with your homeboys, share it with your mama, your grandma, everybody else in your family. Appreciate the love and support. So let's dive right into it, man. You ready?
Yeah.
All
You
right,
want to go
for
Western
sure.
Conference, Eastern Conference?
For sure. Playoffs, number one. Playoffs, number one topic. So,
Western. We can go West or East.
we go west?
We can go West Coast.
West Coast. We on the West Coast, so we're going to start with the West Coast. So, looking at the matchups,
We got,
and
first up, we got Golden State, Portland.
Portland, who you got?
I mean, I was listening to some interviews, and my boy Damian said that they got it in 6.
I don't know about that, man.
Of course, he should be random drug tested for that.
I don't know about that, D. I love you, Dame Lillard.
I do, man. You competitive, but you might be out of there in 4. You might be out of there in 4.
I can't see them beating unless him and CJ go crazy.
You know what? When you got dangerous scorers on your team, it's always a possibility of you winning one game.
But they have dangerous scores too.
Yes, but I mean, last year they got him one.
They did. They give one. I give them one.
You know what I'm saying? All it takes is for you to, 3-pointer, shaky game, live by the 3, die by the 3. So all it takes for them to have a game where they just really off. And
I give them one.
I give them one.
I mean, when they won that game last year, if you guys remember, they played last year in the second round. The Golden State Warriors did not have KD, so that's a whole nother dimension also too. So Dame, I feel like they could steal a game or two. If Dame gets hot, CJ gets hot, you never know.
Yeah, if
Dame will take over.
Get hot,
they got a good chance. But odds are
they're just pretty tough too, and that's pretty much Golden State's weakness. Big men, they can't guard the big man.
That's true.
One-on-one anyway. So if he gets crazy, it's probably one game. Still only one game though.
All right,
I can't really see past one game.
So it looks like we both agree on this one. Golden State. So what's the next matchup? Next matchup on deck is
San Antonio and Memphis.
San Antonio, Memphis.
That's normally always a dog fight, but
they do play each other pretty tough.
But this year, I
don't have enough offensive firepower. Man.
Yeah, I really don't really see them being that productive. They're really banged up, not as really healthy as they would like to be.
And they don't really have a go-to option on. They got Mike Conley, but he's not gonna. I mean, he's not known to take over games offensively.
Yeah,
so he's more of a distributor. I just can't see them beating Greg Popovich 4 times in a row.
Can't see them really winning more in one game.
Yeah, I can't really see that happening either. So it looks like this is an open and shut. We're going Spurs. Next up, we got probably the most exciting matchup in all the playoffs in the first round. Houston and OKC. 2 MVP. We'll get into that later too. 2 MVP candidates in James Harden and Russell Westbrook. This is a tough matchup. This is a really, really tough matchup. I think this could potentially go 7. Just depends.
I think just because of the way that the playoffs are played, I don't really see them, Oklahoma really winning past 2 games. First 2 at home.
I'll give them 2 just based on Russell.
Based on Russell, yeah.
You can get 2.
But
too
it's
many
like
shooters.
Playoffs, half-court basketball, and he has to create way too much for them.
Yeah.
Like he's literally handcrafting guys assists, cause it's like these guys are so unproductive, and Oladipo is so wishy-washy, and he's the only other guy who really can score.
Yeah.
And then
the biggest
Billy
thing
Donovan refused to play Alex Abrinas, which is the only guy that actually complements Russell well. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no shooters, so they're just gonna collapse on him in the half. Well, you know what? The only reason I really think this is Russell's really gonna get crazy because Houston don't play any D anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's not like they're not going to be taking stuff away from them.
If Houston goes with the strategy, which I think they will, just let Russell get his. Well, that too, but just let Russell's going to get his regardless because he's played well against them all year anyway. Yeah. But Houston, they've beaten them 3 times out of 4 this year. pretty handily. I don't think really any of the games were like really in doubt, but
all of them were like close games.
All of them were close. Okay, so
yeah,
maybe.
remember Russell got the win was really close. And,
yeah, they got the
and
one.
There was a couple mishaps against each other.
So, but like he said, the biggest thing is playoff basketball is completely different. The pace is slower, it's more half court, defensive oriented. So that's not really what.
But James Harden has struggled against Oklahoma City.
True, he has. He doesn't put up the numbers.
Yeah, he doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
But I think we're both going. I'm going Houston.
I'm going to go Houston.
I'm going Houston.
Oklahoma's my team, but I have to go Houston just because.
Sorry, MVP or soon to be MVP maybe, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's not enough help, man. It's not enough help.
So next up,
Kobe and
Clippers and Utah. I could care less, to be honest, who wins this series because I think either team is going to get destroyed by Golden State. But this is going to be interesting too.
They would actually have the second seed.
You're right, actually. So either way.
No, actually they do play the first seed. Yeah, that's the fourth and the fifth.
Yeah, fourth and fifth.
They play the first. Yep, they're gonna get.
So either way, I mean, the Clippers. They have talent on paper. They've never seemed to be able to put it all together, especially in the playoffs. Blake Griffin disappears. Chris Paul not disappears, but he plays well, but he's not enough.
He's too much of a, you know what I'm saying? He's too much ball dominant. Ball dominant, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, really kick the ball up.
Yeah.
Get it out of his hands, and then you look at his roster, like, who's he gonna do that to? Like,
I mean,
they can kick it up to anybody.
They're capable of beating anybody in the Western Conference, but I don't see in a game in a 7-game. They'll probably beat Utah. I'm actually gonna pick them over Utah, even though I kind of like Utah too.
Yeah, I go Clippers over Utah, but I do think it'll be like a tough series only because Blake Griffin relies on basically easy layups and Rudy Gobert down there 7-3, and he's going to get into that later of what I feel about his play this year. But
yeah, so it looks like that is the Western Conference. So we got Golden State, Houston, San Antonio, and the Clippers moving on. So we're going to move over to the Eastern Conference, okay? So number one seed, Boston, Chicago. Tough.
I think that'll be when a game slows down. This will be a real test for Boston.
Yeah, I'm real proud. I'm a huge Isaiah Thomas fan, so I'm going to go Boston just on the strength of Isaiah, but what he's been able to do all year with that team. He's definitely, in my eyes, top 4 MVP candidate. You won number 1 seed in the East. You can't really, nobody expected them to do that well.
Yeah.
So I expect them to beat Chicago and probably I expect Chicago to steal a game or two, but I still expect Boston.
Yeah, I think in half-court basketball, they just don't shoot the ball well enough. Chicago just doesn't shoot the ball.
Yeah, and I don't even know.
I think Isaiah shoots the ball exceptionally well, so even when they try to close things in on him, he's still able to really knock down jumpers, and he can go pick and roll all day long.
And you don't know what D-Wade you're going to get either. I don't know if he's even playing or
shout out to D-Wade,
he's going to be healthy.
Because he single-handedly actually kept the team that he left out of the playoffs. So he literally kept the team that he left out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
It came down to the last game. If they would have lost, the Miami Heat would have got in, but he won the game. And kept the Miami Heat out of the playoffs. So take that, Pat, right?
Looks like we're going Boston on this one. So next matchup is Cleveland and Indiana. Very interesting matchup.
That one's...
Let me preface this by saying the way the Cavs played the last half of the year is fucking pathetic.
Terrible. Terrible. Nick Wright, terrible. Colin, terrible.
And I give LeBron James credit where credit is due. He's an obviously Hall of Fame player. But the way his team played that last half of the year, sub 500 basketball is ridiculous.
It's all his fault.
I don't even think you can put him in the MVP conversation. He's having a great year individually, statistically, but his team played like dog shit.
He's out there screaming at dudes for shit that he doing.
But we're not talking about LeBron James. We're going to talk about this matchup.
This matchup is...
I'm still going Cleveland because I still think they're going to get it done. They still have a better team.
It's the Eastern Conference.
But I'm a huge Paul George fan. I want to see PG do well. I want to see him move on. So this is kind of my pie in the sky, one of them hopeful upsets because I really want to see PG go to the next round.
The damn Cavaliers could be at the 8th seed. I still pick them up. Damn East. Like, East is really terrible. It's really awful.
JV. So that's just our opinion. You never know.
Yeah.
So we're going Cleveland on that one.
Cleveland.
Next matchup, Toronto, Milwaukee. We were just talking about this off camera too. So I'm going Toronto. I feel like this is the series that's probably going to end up going 7. in the first round?
I think only reason I think not is because of the inexperience by Milwaukee and the ability to close out games is not there. Like you have a lot of closers in Toronto.
Yeah,
And DeMar and Kyle, you know what I'm saying? And they got stretch big. Then you have Giannis, and you got the rest of the guys.
You don't have Jabari either.
Jabari's
hurt.
You know what I'm saying? Don Maker is still trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just don't. I think they'll be competitive every single game, but they're probably gonna.
But I'm still going. I'm still going Toronto. So
yeah, I'm going Toronto.
We got Toronto. So 4 or 5. Washington, Atlanta. I love the way John Wall has been playing this year. They're the 4 seed, which is a lot better than I expected. They started the season like playing horrible. They put it together the last like 2 months of the year and been playing lights out. So
is it the 3rd seed or the
4th seed? They're the 4th seed. 3rd seed is Toronto. Yeah, so I'm going, and this is another matchup that can go either way, but I'm going Wizards on this one, just because I feel like I don't think there's anybody on Atlanta. If John Wall does what he's been doing the last two months, there's nobody on Atlanta that's going to be able to stand in front of him and stop. Him and Bradley Beal have been clicking.
Yeah, I might go Atlanta at this one.
You may go ATL, so this is the
first
one.
ATL because it's just they have the playoff experience.
They do. They
have been winning games. They've been a really good team, playoff team. You know what I'm saying?
So,
the last couple of years, and they have a really great system.
Yeah.
Like they pretty much made players out of guys that they have, and you know what I'm saying. John Wall likes to drive, and if Dwight Howard is just there, it's going to create a lot of problems. At half court, it's going to be harder. You're going to have to make a lot more shots. Bradley Beal is really like the only
other option. If they have Otto Porter,
you know what I'm saying?
Otto Porter, Gortat. So I mean, I like the Wizards. They're fun to watch. And if they can get out on a break, I think they can beat Atlanta.
That's the hardest part about the playoffs. Is just that's so much limited.
Yeah,
but
I feel like
they got Dennis Schroeder, Kent Bazemore, Dwight Howard down there. A couple. He's on Toronto. Paul Millsap can stretch the floor.
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah, he's pretty nice. I like him.
So he's been playing really well too. He's getting a lot of BT. So shout out to Tim Hardaway Jr. All right, man. So that's the playoff picture. Those are our picks for the Eastern and Western playoffs to move on to the next round.